Hi, dear participants. We will start our webinar soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box and we will address the questions during the Q&A sessions. And also kindly note that a certificate of participation will be available at the end of the webinar. So make sure to stay tuned until the conclusion of our event as we will provide a link for you to access and download your certificate. So without further ado, let me introduce our moderator of the day, Mr. Francis Suja Saputra from Indonesia. So a little background about Mr. Francis is that he was the chairman of HDII, the Indonesian Society of Interior Designer from 2013 to 2015. Additionally, Mr. Francis served as the chairman of APSDA from 2012 to 2014, contributing to the advancement and collaboration of design professionals across the Asia-Pacific region. So he is also actively involved as an honorary member of CIDI, Consejo Ibero-Americano de Diseñadores de Interiores, since 2013. So moreover, he was also a board member of RMHC, Yayasan Ronald McDonald House Charity since 2018. With that said, let us welcome Mr. Francis Suja Saputra, our moderator.
Hello, hi everyone. So yeah, thank you, Bein, to introduce me to this forum. We have two great speakers with us today. First is Miss Annette Lee Esparaz, and then the second one would be architect Jaime Silva. So this will be definitely a interesting subject because we went through it the other day, and I think you'll be happy to hear them. Okay, so do I go straight to the first speaker, Bein, or do Mr. Keith will open the...
Professor Keong will do the opening remarks.
All right. Yes. Okay, I'll pass to you. Back to you, Bein.
So let us invite our Professor Keong, President of Asia Pacific Space Designer Association, to give an opening remarks.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate the good introduction just now, and thank you everyone for taking the time to attend our APSDA webinar series organized by our Professional Practice Department. And APSDA is the acronym for Asia Pacific Space Designers Association. We are the gathering of national level design associations from Asia, including the Oceania region. Currently, we have 14 full members that are from 13 different countries and territories, and they are in alphabetical order: Australia, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Japan, Macau, Malaysia, Nepal, Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, and South Korea. And APSDA inspires to nurture a better understanding of the different Asia-Pacific regional cultures and encourage the exchange of interior design information and knowledge between its members for the advancement of this field to benefit regional societies at large. Under APSDA, we have various departments from professional development, education, awards and competitions, editorial and outreach, membership, and industry relations to develop and oversee the programs under the organization. Today, we put the spotlight on a very important topic: universal design. So universal design is the design of spaces and environments to make them accessible to people, regardless of age, disability, or other factors. It addresses common barriers to participation by creating things that can be used by the maximum number of people possible. So the term universal design was coined by architect Ronald Mays to describe the concept of designing all products and the built environment to be aesthetic and usable to the greatest extent possible by everyone, regardless of their age, ability, or status in life. So of course, there's much more to this. That's why we are fortunate today to have our distinguished speakers, Ms. Annette Lee Esparaz and Mr. Jaime Silva, both from the Philippines, to give us an insight on universal design. We are thrilled to have my good friend here, Mr. Francis Sujasaputra, who is also one of my predecessors in APSDA, to moderate today's webinar. Also, I would like to thank the organizing team behind that make today's webinar possible. Thank you, Lilia, Rohadi, Luffy, Joy, and our secretariat team, Paying and Stephen. Last but not least, allow me to borrow the words from Julie Foudy, a well-known American sportswoman, quote unquote, "I believe it's our responsibility to show our communities the value of all people, to celebrate different and to take a stand for acceptance and inclusion." With this, I thank you and enjoy the rest of the webinar.
Okay, thank you, Keith, for the opening speech. I would then go straight forward to the first speaker. We have with us Miss Annette Lee Esparaz. She's the founder of Touch, the Artist's Vision. So having an affinity for the arts for as long as you can remember, Annette Lee Esparaz, the founder of TAV, Touch, the Artist's Vision, is a Rector's Awardee. She guaranteed magna cum laude with a degree in Fine Arts in Interior Design and a master degree in Cultural Heritage, both from the University of Santo Tomas. She had long advocated the blind to see and appreciate art, having introduced the Touch, the Artist's Vision program in participation with the Metropolitan Museum of Manila in 2008. The first of its kind that allows the visually impaired to appreciate visual art through audio and tactical technology. She had also initiated Touch Books, the Tactical Textbook Project, a pioneering publication that featured drawings of key concepts in elementary social studies. And this is used over 420 special education public schools in the country. She was covered by former President Benigno as Aquino III, the Special Award Rehabilitation Volunteer of the Year in 2015. Apolinario Mabini Award ceremonies at Malacanang. She's currently implementing TAV program in the 12 museums under the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. She can be contacted at her email. Later, we'll pass it on to you. So, Annette, you may have the screen.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Let's go to the first slide. I'm sure everybody's familiar with this place. Everyone is rushing with their phone and selfies, camera to take a picture with this painting. This is located in Paris. Yes, it's the Louvre Museum, one of the top 10 places to visit when you are in France. With 8.6 million visitors a year, who does not know Mona Lisa? Well, if you plan to go there, do not follow this crowd, but go to the left, go straight ahead, and before you see the exit sign, turn around. Next slide. And you are all alone with Mona Lisa. For us to enjoy this painting, a 16th century painting of Mona Lisa is given a special extra bulletproof glass to protect her. Wooden frame in front of her and another frame of wood in front to protect her. Next slide. Traditional art, culture, and heritage, predominantly in the museum, cater to the sighted, keeping the object in a safe distance. Most of us, if not all, agree that art in any medium is an integral part of who we are. Especially for us very visual people, we are sometimes taking this gift of sight for granted. Over lunch with a group of curators in the International Council of Museum, I asked this group of ladies, do you know what's missing in the Mona Lisa painting? Everybody was looking at me, wondering what's missing in the Mona Lisa painting. I presented the first tactile picture of Mona Lisa to a student blind since birth. Next slide, please. After going through the narrative description of Mona Lisa, her background, her gown, and if you notice, there's a landscape of Leonardo da Vinci at the back of Mona Lisa. This young lady, who's blind since birth, said to me, Sister Annette, Mona Lisa doesn't have eyebrows or eyelashes. I quickly looked at the painting and said, did I miss drawing it for her? This is a 2D tactile, a two-dimensional tactile. And true enough, Mona Lisa does not have eyebrows or eyelashes. See, during that time, the genteel women do not pluck the hairs of their face because it's quite unsightly during that time. Tell me now, who is the blind one here? They see from micro to macro, while we see from macro to micro, sometimes not even. Living in a world with 39 million blind, 246 million low vision, and 285 million visually impaired people, are we doing enough to assimilate them to our world, to our art that we are all enjoying? According to Resources for the Blind, India has the highest number, followed by China, Indonesia, and my country, Philippines, is the fourth highest in the world for blindness. Currently, there are about 55,000 museums all around the world. And how many of them are accessible to the visually impaired? Definitely not enough. In 2008, the system, we partnered with Metropolitan Museum of Manila, and trying to make some of their paintings into two-dimensional. We are using the system pattern used in Europe and United States. Can you do the next one? So these children who has gone through the museums in the Philippines know how to use this tactile, because as you can see, the way we describe colors, we give pattern to each color, and then we describe it line by line to them. And it's so fascinating how the children can really understand and discuss the painting with us. These 2D tactile pedestals are placed in front or at the side of the actual painting in a museum, allowing both the sighted and the blind to appreciate art together. This is Joyce Lopez, is actually one of our first visitor in Met Museum. And you know, she went back with her mom. She's blind since birth. She went back with her mom and showed her mom her favorite painting. This is how they explore the painting 2D tactile. See, some of the artworks are allowed by the owners to be handled by the visitors. And it allows them the opportunity to really experience immediately what the vision of the artist is. And most of them really would say, oh my gosh, I really, it got me in tears, or this is how Jesus looks like in some of the images made by an artist, a sculptor. Go to the next slide. As you can see, there is one photograph or one painting we selected with the curator, a painting of Amor Solo. We purposely chose a lady which is unclothed on top, okay, with her breast shown on the painting. And we had the school for the blind children come over. And you know, there was a line of boys in this painting. And I went down, I saw them and they were laughing and giggling. And they said, boobs, boobs. You know, everybody was just lining up and, you know, very interested in touching a painting of this lady. Obviously, boys will be boys. But if it's not possible to touch an original artwork and the objects are encased in the glass. One time, a group of blind children visited a museum, next slide please, with 60 well-curated historical dioramas. After going through all the 60 dioramas with a guided tour, and one student asked, are dioramas glass? It makes me think, did we really show them or communicated with them? Obviously, there's something not communicating with them. They don't understand it because their hands are actually their eyes. So it's one of our major dream to have these dioramas, encased dioramas, to bring them out for the visually impaired to be able to see through touch. And in 2018, we signed a memorandum of agreement with National Historical Commission of the Philippines to have 12 historical museums install accessibility for the blind and the deaf. I would like to acknowledge the late Executive Badoy Lodovico of National Historical Commission for his forward thinking, adopting Inside Out Museum Unbox. Next slide, please. Yes. We had installed 2-dimensional tactiles for paintings and large print with braille text. And we brought out from their encased dioramas, next slide, the most important heroes inside the diorama case, where we replicated it and let the blind really see what we're talking about. You can imagine in a historical museum on a Saturday, they will have about 30 buses of children coming in from the public school. And all the other classmates will be able to talk about whatever they saw in the dioramas. However, they will just be sitting there. And there's nothing for them to touch or to see. But for the first time, they can now discuss what they see for the first time. Okay. This is No Limit Tangere, the cover of No Limit Tangere. We had it in 2D tactile, and we have the braille text and the large print beside it. We have 3D images. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, and this one is made from synthetic marble by a sculptor. We replicated the small image done by Jose Rizal. You can see this is a presidential car museum, where the presidential car, we made a very, very small scale for the blind to be able to visualize what cars the presidents are using. Next slide, please. Oh, this is very interesting. This is President Manuel Quezon planting rice. Okay, when our blind student touch this one, it is actually, in case you see the one encased inside the glass, that's the original one, and we made a small one replica right in front of it. Can you next slide, please? This student, this girl said, oh, this is the way they plant rice. It's so difficult. Now appreciate what I'm eating every day. You see, sometimes we don't even realize that they don't know the way or how people plant rice. They bend all day. But with this image, we were able to communicate to them. So those are little things that happens during our openings and when we talk to the blind, what they learned. Next slide, please. Okay, we're able to zoom in logos or some coins, and then this is for them to understand more about the exhibit. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the one we've done for UP Science Museum, wherein we made their bacteria image into a 2-dimensional tactile. Next slide. First time they're able to touch a bacteria, an image of a bacteria. Next slide, please. And sometimes we'll do a tactile map right beside the elevator so they know the space that they're walking into. Next slide, please. Okay, this young man is very interesting, Harvey. This museum is the Museo ng Kasaysayang Pampolitika. It's a Political Museum of the Philippines. RV is in grade 6. Now, after going through the different presidents, their accomplishment and everything, we asked him, what did you learn? And he said, you know, how come you only say good things about the president, their accomplishment? Isn't it that they have done something wrong too? I asked that curator to answer Harvey, and she said, well, it's because it's supported by the government. I tell you, that's critical thinking, isn't it? How many of us would even think of that question? But for them, they really want to learn and they take it seriously. Okay, I'm always inspired by those events. Why do we make spaces available, spaces for them to be accessible? Now, sometimes you'd ask, how come? There's only one blind here, or we hardly see a blind that comes in. But if that blind child is your own child, wouldn't we fight tooth and nail to make the space available to them, the space safe for them to go to? Isn't it? That's what we're going to do, right? Okay, now I want to share something that's not interior, but about what we do every day. We talk about space, design, but how about the simple act of eating? But we get to choose what we eat. May I share a recent project, Gift of Independence? Next slide. We call it the Life Peg Project. Oh, these are some other pictures of the blind enjoying the art. In fact, this is in Rizal Museum. Some more. Next slide. Okay, this is the one I'm talking about. Every day we go out, we choose what we want to eat. So easily we look at the counter and you choose what you want to eat, right? Now, how about a visually impaired person or blind person? In a normal course of day, 2 or 3 times a day, we'll go to a restaurant and choose what we want to eat. But for the visually impaired, what is the menu to them? They know that there is this thing of a menu, but have they experienced it? No. They always need a sighted person to dictate to them what is available. Sometimes you'll say just spaghetti or hamburger, but to say all those things, no, right? Space ramps are very important, but more so is access to information that empowers all of us. This is true for the sighted and the blind. After 12 years of learning Braille in school, as they go out from the 4 walls of school, where will they see another Braille text except in the elevator, maybe ground floor up to the 50th or 70th floor? That's all, in an elevator panel. Indeed, God had heard our prayers. We touched the artist's vision, Rotary and Jollibee Food Corporation. A Braille enlarged print menu is made available for them, for the blind to choose what they like in their first 51 company-owned restaurant. Next slide. The managers and crew went through seminar, a training, sensitivity training, where they're taught to welcome the blind, to help them, give them their change, to lead them across the hall or the restaurant. Okay, but first, next slide, please. The first training, this is the Braille menu. You have the Braille text there, and then the text on the, it continues actually to the left side. The reason is that the font used by a Braille is always 24 points. You cannot make it lower or bigger, because when you make it lower, smaller points, they cannot read it, and you make it bigger, it means something else. Okay, this is the Braille menu that we're using. Next slide, please. First training day. Okay, we have to blindfold all the crew member to eat with blindfolded, because we want to let them feel how the blind eat. Okay, so It was so funny. After the training, everybody was saying, I don't even know if I still have rice on my plate, and I was feeding myself, and there's no rice at all. And it was so funny. I said, it's a good thing Jollibee only served chicken. Next time, our training will be fish. Everybody was laughing. But the thing is, after training all these guys, we said, you don't, this is not only in Jollibee. As you go out, you have already a skill how to assist a visually impaired, which is very important. Next slide, please. These are the children who read the menu. They ordered what they like during that day. Next slide, please. This is a low vision customer, a very young boy, reading the large print menu. He's so interested with the price, what he's ordering. He had to read it one by one, slowly, because he reads it one word at a time because of his vision. Next slide, please. Oh, this is Mikey. She's very interesting. She came with her mom and dad, okay? And then the crew is already trained, gave her the menu. And she said, you know, I was feeling cold this morning. I saw in the Braille menu, you have creamy macaroni soup. I went down by myself, of course, with a crew member, without asking my mom and dad, and ordered it by myself. Isn't that empowering? Equal access, equal participation. And it is really life-changing, giving the visually impaired the voice, the power of decision-making, a gift of choice. It shows that Jollibee is meeting the needs of the visually impaired customer. Joyce Lopez said that Jollibee opened the door for them. You can do something. You know that the blind now can appreciate art. Allow them a space to experience, not only to know, but to experience. Give them access to information. Include them in our community. Creating awareness is important because diversity, equality, inclusivity is for all. Thank you and good afternoon. Back to you, Francis.
Yeah. Wow, that's really very touching, very inspiring, Annette. And actually, you still have 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So very inspiring. So, but anyway, we will go to the Q&A together later after the next speaker. So thank you for the very great, inspiring project, the TAB that you've done. So we go now to the next speaker. So I will introduce you who's the next speaker is. He is architect Jaime G. Silva, FUAP APAC architect. So Mr. Jaime, architect Jaime, outstanding professional, has many awards. These are some of them. Outstanding Professional of the Year in the field of architecture in 2011 by the Professional Regulations Commission, or the PRC. And then Presidential Awardee, Apollo Nario Mabini Awards in 2002 by the Philippine Foundation for the Rehabilitation of the Disabled, short of PFRD. And also Convert APAC as Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Architect in 2012 by Professional Regulation Commission, or the PRC. Also Chairman Committee of Accessibility Commission on Government and External Affairs, United Architects of the Philippines. He is also Vice President, Subcommittee on Accessibility on Built Environment and Transportation, National Council on Disability Affairs, or short NCDA. Architect Jaime also Vice Chairman, Technical Working Group for the Amendment of the Implementing Rules and Regulation of BP 344. This is Rule 2, Appendix A, Standard of Accessibility, National Council on Disability Affairs, or NCDA. He is also Chairman, Nomination Committee, Apolinario Mabini Awards, Philippine Foundation for the Rehabilitation of the Disabled, or the PFRD. Awardee of the UAP National Convention 42 for Advocacy in Accessibility in 2016, and also awardee for the Presidential Award for Leadership and Service, United Architects of the Philippines in 2018. So very impressive portfolio there by Architect Jaime. So Architect Jaime, the screen is yours.
So, good morning, good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to present my first my presentation. Can I have the first slide, please? Okay. The title of my presentation will be Accessibility in the Built Environment. Can we have slide 2, please? For clarification, universal design is a movement. It does not have any specific dimensions. What it is referring to is to look into the standards and dimensions of your country with regards to the accessibility law. As we are aware that universal design should cater to everyone, and I'd like to focus in this afternoon's session for persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities needs access tools so that they can become included in our society, so they can be to be able to be included in the society. Example of these are a blind would want audio, not text prints. The deaf would want a text print rather than audio. Wheelchair user would want elevators, not the stairs. In our country, persons with disabilities have always been considered as charity case. They're always subjects of welfare and dole-outs, and that's why they're helpless, considered helpless. And then eventually, the way government would see persons with disabilities are on a medical case situation. So like me, I can walk, but they always force me to use a wheelchair at the airport. Then came the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, where it stipulates that it should be a rights-based society. Persons with disabilities have always been segregated. So a blind person will be asked to go to a school where all of them are blind. If he needs to stay in a dormitory, he will be asked to join the group in a dormitory where all of them are blind. When he finishes high school, government will give them work in a sheltered workshop where all of them are blind. This is not only true for the blind, but it's also true for the deaf and hard of hearing, for those with ambulatory difficulty and those using wheelchairs, for those with intellectual and developmental disability. They segregate them depending on their disability. But when you start segregating a sector, you disconnect them with society. So you prevent them from becoming independent and productive members in our country. So government started telling persons with disabilities to participate, to integrate, to mainstream in society. And this is what they did. This is what they did. A blind was given printed textbook to use for studies. A deaf person was asked to attend seminars on lectures and teachings, but there was no sign language interpreter. A wheelchair user was asked to go to the second floor for a classroom, but there was no elevator. There were only stairs. So this is what's happening. Persons with disabilities had persons with disabilities had difficulty accessing the built environment. There were a lot of barriers for them to negotiate. Then we have inclusion. What is inclusion? Inclusion in segregation, we see persons with disabilities being disconnected. In integration, we see persons with disabilities having difficulty navigating those barriers in our society. In inclusion, it's saying that society has to adjust to the needs of persons with disabilities. Slide 3, please. Okay. Slide 4, please. We have this Batas Pambasa 344, which we call the accessibility law. So what is this law? Okay, slide 4. What is written there? It is an act to enhance the mobility of disabled persons by requiring certain buildings, institutions, establishment, and public utilities to install facilities and other devices. So example of buildings should be compliant housing, schools, health facilities, workplaces, commercial establishments, and all other establishment that has public accommodation. In the following slides, I will start discussing several of the provisions of the accessibility law. There are a lot of architectural features and facilities, but I like to focus on 4 of them for this time. I will be discussing the ramps, bathrooms and toilets, hotel rooms, and signages. Can we move to slide 5, please? So here's the ramp cover. So slide 6, please. Ramp should be 1:12 gradient. So it should be near the entrance. So what is gradient? It's the ratio of the height to the base. So it's like a right triangle, the base divided by height. So in the Philippines, it requires a 1:12 gradient. If you look at the degree, it's equivalent to 4.75 degrees. And if you look at the percentage, it's 8%. So ramps should be at the front entrance where the general public passes. It should not be at the rear service entrance. There should be 2 level handrails in the ramp. One 700 millimeter, and the other one is at 900 millimeter. The 700 millimeter is really for the wheelchair user, and the 900 millimeter is for those who are able to walk but needs to hold on to a handrail when they ascend or go down the ramps. There should be handrails on both sides. Sometimes a person had a stroke, is paralyzed on his right, so he needs a handrail on his left. There are times he's paralyzed on his left, and he will need a handrail on the right. Slide 7, please. Maximum length of a handrail is only until 6 meters. If the ramp will require a 10-meter run, then definitely you have to break it into 2. You can either have a 6 meters and then a landing and the other 4 meters, or you can even break it into equal ramps, like a 5 meter, then you get a landing and then a 5 meter again. The width of ramp is 1200 millimeter clear between the 2 handrails. This will allow a wheelchair user to move up the ramp and a person to go down the ramp. So it becomes a two-way traffic. Locations of ramps should be not dangerous for the wheelchair user. So if the ramp is perpendicular to the street, then you have to provide a barrier so that the wheelchair user does not overshoot and end up in the middle of the driveway or roadway or the street. So it's always preferred to have a parallel ramp parallel to the ramp parallel to the street. Slide 8, please. So now we'll move to the next one, bathrooms and toilets. So slide 9, please. Toilet cubicle dimensions that we have in our country requires a minimum of 1700 millimeter by 1800 millimeter. Dimensions can be more, but not less. There should be a clear door opening of 900 millimeter. You can either have a swing in door, a swing out door, or the sliding. But once you use a swing in door, you have to increase the length of the toilet to accommodate the swing of the door, and will not affect the turnabout space of the wheelchair user. One thing that we should also look into is that if in the event the person in wheelchair, the person with disability falls down, but like when he transfer from the wheelchair to the water closet, or sometimes back because the floorings are wet, the toilet flooring is wet, then when he collapsed down, it will be very difficult to open the door fully when the door swings in because of the wheelchair and the body of the person blocking the full openness or the door to fully open. So it's always advisable or recommended to have swing out doors or sliding doors to be able to rescue the person easily. It's also important to have a turnabout space, a 1500 millimeter by a 1500 millimeter, so that a person in a wheelchair can enter the toilet, either use the lavatory or the water closet, and do a 180-degree turnabout and get out from the room. So what's important is to have an easy passage of the wheelchair to go in, use the toilet, and get out. Slide 10, please. There has to be 2 hand grabs beside the water closet, a movable hand grab and a fixed hand grab. The movable hand grab should have a height of 800 millimeters from the top of the hand grab to the finished floor. Use normal position of the movable hand grab will always be on an up position, so that when the wheelchair user goes near the water closet, he has that space to mount the toilet seat. And then once he's seated down, he can bring down the movable hand grab for his support. Another hand grab that's required is on the other side of the water closet is a fixed hand grab. It also requires a 800 millimeter height from the top of the hand grab to the finished floor. So the hand grab diameter is suggested to be at 40 millimeter diameter. If you use a horizontal hand grab, you have to extend it 300 millimeters farther from the point of the water closet. This will allow the wheelchair user a distance to hold on when he transfers to the wheelchair from the toilet seat. Now, what's important is the relationship or the interface of the water closet to the hand grab. So what is required is that the center of the water closet to the finished wall should be at 400 millimeters. The one that the people that formulated this assume that the hand grab will have 100 millimeter distance with the hand grab diameter and the finger space. So with 400 millimeter from the center of the water closet to the finished wall minus the 100 millimeter for the hand grab will leave you 300 millimeter center of water closet to the hand grab. Likewise, it should also have the same distance from the movable hand grab on the other side to the center of the water closet. This will give you a space, 600 millimeter of clear space between the two hand grabs. So lavatories, like hand grabs, the lavatories should be also at 800 millimeter from the top of the lavatory to the finished floor. There should also be a legroom space, a vertical legroom space of 650 millimeter, so that the wheelchair user can move closer and reach for the faucet. If there are a series of lavatories in a lavatory counter, and there are cabinets beneath the lavatory, you have to open up one of those cabinets so that a wheelchair user can come in closer to the faucet, and so you need that legroom space underneath. Slide 11, please. Roll-in shower. So you need a 1500 by 1500 roll-in shower so that the personal wheelchair is able to enter and then do a 180-degree turnaround when it's done with the shower. There should be L-shaped grab bars. It starts a vertical hand grab on the left, then crosses horizontal along the shower valve, and then turns along the wall. Rolling shower curves should only be a maximum of 12 millimeter, and it should be beveled. There should also be a shower spray with a 1500 shower hose for the user to use in shower. Next, slide 12, please. Accessible bathtubs. There should be a transfer space right beside the bathtub. This will allow the wheelchair user to park his wheelchair and then hold on to a vertical hand grab and transfer from the bathroom floor to the bathtub. So you need two sets of hand grabs. A L-shaped bar, which is a 1200 millimeter long, horizontally positioned, and 250 millimeter above the top rim of the bathtub. Another vertical hand grab will be at the open space of the bathtub. So the wheelchair user from where he parked can hold on to that vertical hand grab and transfer to the bathtub. Likewise, it also should have a shower spray at 1500 long hose. Slide 13, please. So now we'll move to the hotels. So we have hotels, apartels, dormitories, and lodging facilities. Slide 14, please. So here we can see a floor plan, a guest room. So we can see the space beside the bed, at least a 1500 by 1500 turnabout space right beside the bed. When we look at the door handles should be lever type, easy to open. So there should also be a lowered peephole with a height of 1100 from center of peephole to the finished floor. There should also be lowered switches, 1200 millimeter from center of switch to the finished floor. Slide 15, please. So here's a floor plan of a hotel room showing the space, the clear space in front of the door, the hotel door inside. So you should have a space of 1500 millimeter long and a width of 1250 millimeter width. This is a space for the wheelchair user. So when they open the door or looks into the peephole. There should also be a 1200 millimeter clear passage between the bathroom wall and the closets. So here a floor plan shows 2 single beds. So there is a space there, right? A turnabout space of 1500 by 1500 millimeter. Electrical outlets should also be raised at 450 millimeter because it will be difficult for a wheelchair user to reach the outlets which are nearer the floor. Beds should have a limit of until 500 mm from the finished floor because moving from a lower seat to a higher bed will be difficult for them. Closet doors should be easy to open and preferred to be sliding. There should be lower hanger rods, at least a height of 1400 millimeter from the finished floor. Slide 16, please. So what's important in hotel rooms are the audible and visual alarms. These are connected. So you can have a strobe light or that is tapped to the fire detection alarm system of the building. Another thing that we should look into to consider is that you should not have more than 3 flashes for the horse robe, 3 flashes per second, because more flashes can trigger an attack on the person with epilepsy. So you can always refer to the latest fire code of the Philippines. What's important also is to have an emergency button inside the guest room. You know, if there are accidents or there's a need for a person for assistance, that he can always press that assistance button, particularly those who are deaf. Sometimes you'll see mounted on the door that it states there's a message there that if you need of any assistance, just call the phone, the intercom. But these are not doable for those who are deaf. Another is the vibrating pillow pad. This is connected to the fire alarm system, and then this pillow pad are placed under the pillowcase, under the pillows of the deaf person. So when the alarm activates or sounds off, it vibrates to wake up the deaf person. Slide 17, please. Signages. Slide 18, please. So there should be redundancy of signages in ramps, in toilets, and in parkings. It should be informative and directional. In the Philippines, we require that there should be a signage in front of the toilet assigned for persons with disabilities. It will have a dimension of 200 millimeter by 200 millimeter. It should be mounted from the center of the signage to the finished floor at 1500 millimeter. The background will always be the blue of the United Nations with an icon of a wheelchair facing right and color white. So actually, this is the universal design, having a background darker and all the text or the numbers or the icons to be in white. So if there are protruding signages, there should be at least a 2-meter headroom clearance. You know, the blind when they're at hotels, they know when to turn, whether to turn right or left as they get off the elevator, and they start counting the number of doors. So when they do count number of doors, they put their fingers on the wall and start slightly and start walking so they can count the number of doors. So if they're on the fifth or sixth door, they will know when their room is located. But if you have a signage lower than the head of clearance, then that might hit their head. So we can see here the UN symbol of accessibility, blue background, an icon of a wheelchair facing right. So this is universal design. Slide 19, please. So there are a lot more of architectural features and facilities that we have in our accessibility law. And these are stairs, walkways, corridors, doors, bathrooms and toilets, elevators, ramps, parkings, switches, buzzers, controls, thresholds, floor finishes, drinking fountains, public telephones, seating accommodations, and others. In my next photos, in my next slides, I would like to show you some things that we have done, the impact of the outcome of what we've done. So this is why I'd like to show it to you so that I can also encourage your designers, members of your organizations to advocate to have an accessible environment for persons with disabilities. Can we have the slide 20, please? So these are outcomes to our advocacy. So there are 16 slides. Maybe I can cue the operator to when to transfer from slide to slide. So there are 16 photos of before and after. So can we have slide 21, please? Slide 22, please. Slide 23, please. Slide 24, please. Slide 25, please. Slide 26, please. Slide 27, please. Slide 28. Slide 29. Slide 30. Slide 31. Slide 32. Slide 33. Slide 34. Slide 35. Slide 36. So slide 37. When you do designs for your clients or projects, you always look into providing accessibility for persons with disabilities, not only for one particular disability, but for all disabilities, like the wheelchair users, the blind and low vision, the deaf and hard of hearing, the older person, those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Slide 38, please. I'd like you to press the play. Every person has a right to live the Filipino dream, and this is a dream to become independent and productive. Every person and a citizen of our country has a right to be included, to be accommodated, and to be part of the Philippine built environment. As Filipinos, this is our civil rights. This is our karapatan, as we say it in Tagalog. And because of the accessibility law, because of the Magna Carta for persons with disabilities, and because of the United Nations Convention on the rights of persons with disabilities within the Philippines is number 26 nation to have ratified. This definitely becomes the rights of persons with disabilities. Slide 39, please. So in behalf of the United Architects of the Philippines, Committee on Accessibility under the Commission on Government and External Affairs, I am Jaime Silva. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Jaime, for
Yes.
the great speaking. Mr. Francis, you can take over from here.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Wow, it's very inspiring, and to realize that there's so many things that needs to be done, and you've started a great a great load of the work in the Philippines. And I think, comparing elsewhere, I think, we just put on the yellow tile, textured tile on the pedestrian, and at the end, that's only used for parking, car parks there. So yeah, well, thank you. It's very inspiring, and we realize that we have a lot of things to do, a lot of empathy to check, to help those who, to empower those who really need to be helped, just to be in the same level as who we are, So we go now to the Q&A. There are some questions here already. Let me read them for you. Okay, wait a minute. There's, this is from Rohadi Sumardi. He's our Indonesian Interior Design Association chairman. Hi, Ms. Annette. How can we quickly understand the character of a disabled person to be used as a basis for interior design planning? So I think what it means is that what kind of disability that we should pay attention to. I think this is what he meant. Do we pay attention for the blind, or should we pay attention also for the hearing impaired, for example, visual impaired or hearing impaired, or speaking impaired? So how do you design a space, and do they have like priority? Is there such thing as priority? We should prioritize it.
Is there such thing as what?
Priority. Like
Priority. Okay.
which one should you provide?
Yes, I would adapt whatever Architect Silva had said. When you consider to design for anybody who has a disability, consider all first. So, of course, access to the space is important. Then that will be for the wheelchair users. Then as you go in, you can imagine that you are visually impaired, blindfold yourself, and then see how you can access the room. By that alone, you would want to know where you are. So you can put some braille on the wall or any kind of signage that would help you. And well, it would be nice if there is a sign language video. Well, that would be very nice. As you enter the hall or the lobby of any building, it would be nice to see that, okay, somebody explaining to you the first floor is the general service. The second floor will be this service. It would be nice to have that, or just to give an overview of the hall or the building itself. That will be taking care of the people in wheelchair users, the blind, the deaf.
I hope that answers Rohadi's question. Do you want to add on to that, Architect?
Can I answer? Yes, sir. When we talk about inclusion, like let's take the elevator itself. It should be that all disability or persons with disability are able to use the elevator on their own. Like a blind person will be able to go to the floor on his own on the elevator. A person on wheelchair will be able to use the elevator on his
Reach.
own.
Mm.
A deaf person can also do this. You know, in the Philippines, when the laws came out, we were only focused on those with ambulatory difficulty because the government felt that that was these are the group that is really affected by not having access in the building. But eventually, they realized that it's not only those using
Mm.
wheelchairs; it's also for all. That's why in the new amendments that we did, we had more on the sensory, those with sensory disabilities, the blind and the deaf,
Mm.
more on those, and more focus also for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's why we're also looking into inclusive education. Now, at one time, there was a student of architecture who went to me. He told me she was doing a thesis that it will be for the blind to appreciate. So she presented to me her thesis, and then things that should a blind have is there already. But her question was more of, what about the facade? How can how can the facade appreciate? How can you appreciate the facade of the
Mm.
building? I told her you're looking at a different perspective because colors and shapes of the facade might not matter so much for us. But what is important is we enter the building. We are able to move independently. We experience what's in the building. That is what's important
Yeah.
for us, for those who cannot see. Yeah.
So I I also found out interesting things at the earlier presentation.
Mm.
You have floor plan,
Yeah.
right? Like a floor plan. So how do you know where to start? Is there like you have to go to learn it, or does it just have to be like two-dimensional? Like
Okay.
embossed sort of.
Well, of course, I've seen an embossed floor plan. You run it. I think Annette has something like that. You run it, and whatever line you do, it embosses. But I have to be oriented on the floor plan because my background is really architecture. I was able to see. I finished architecture. I got involved in construction and design, and I had my own office before I lost my eyesight. So it's easy for me to relate on when you talk about dimensions and spaces. I can easily understand that. So maybe for those who have not seen anything from the very start, they are the people that uses more of the braille because they learn school through braille. So, but like me, I learned it through text. So what I use now are more of a computer that has that converts the text to voice. This is what I do in to access these print materials.
Yes, I found that very interesting. That when you were presenting, Mr. Jaime, that you mentioned slide number 1, number 2, and so forth.
Yeah.
Actually, that's interesting for me because if someone else presenting my slide, I need to be specific. But the thing is, I can just say next because I can easily see. Where
Correct.
you
Yes.
would have to remember every slide.
Correct.
So this is really, it must be challenging.
I have a secret. I have a note taker. It's in audio. So I put down notes what I want to do. So this is people would always think a blind, how can he present? Those were the challenges I had before. A blind person in a construction coordination meeting, what will he do here? No? But we have tools, we have computers, we have devices that can help us. Our phone talks, so there's always so we can interact with people because of the tools that we have.
Sure.
And that's why it's very important that the development of these tools to give us access and to be able to and become independent.
Miss Annette, you want to add on to that?
I say kudos.
Yeah, I'm very touched by both of you and what you've done. And before we go to the next questions, I'd like to ask both of you a question. Maybe start with Miss Annette. What makes you do this? What is your calling? Why you do all this?
Okay, it was about 20 plus years ago when I was the president of a Rotary Club. And I was looking for a project wherein I can help that no Rotary has been helping. And since I'm also in a printing business, I read in the newspaper that Resources for the Blind was transcribing books for Department of Education. I went there and I spoke to Director Weiser, and then he was showing me this printer, and then he gave me a small card, ABC in Braille. I was so excited. I learned something that morning. And then, I was so happy. And then he said, I hope you won't need it. When he said that, I said, oh my, something I just thought like something frivolous. But for
Right.
him, for other people, it means their life.
Mm.
So, yes, what if one day I'll be in the same situation? What did I do now that I'm blessed with sight? Can I do something for them? Even in our very, very small way, what can we do for them now?
Mm.
That
Amazing. How about you, Mr. Jaime?
When I was studying architecture, even when I was in high school, I would see persons with disability, and I would just see them and feel sorry for them. Then, but of course, you go on with your life. I finished architecture. I worked for a big architectural office. Then eventually, I had my own. But things changes. You feel that you're already on top of the world. You've finished architecture. You're moving forward. Then suddenly you lose your eyesight, which is very important for an architect. So I had several surgeries. I went to several surgeries, came back, then opened up again my office, but I had to close it again because my eyesight was really failing. So at the end of the day, my wife said, maybe we have done this too much already for your eyes. So we'll take a paradigm shift and start from the beginning and forget about architecture. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know government would offer rondalia, broom making, massage, but that's not for me. That's not for me. So there were days that I would just stay in the house while my wife goes to work. And by the time she comes back in the afternoon, I'll be in the same place, not knowing what to do. So and then eventually, I was really hoping that I'll get back to architecture, but both those are the dreams, and you hope for miracles, but those miracles doesn't really come. Then I had an opportunity, but of course I prayed and I asked the Lord, I can't say anymore, but make use of me. I finished architecture, make use of me. Then after a few months, then I got involved in putting up houses in exclusive villages in the Philippines, in Makati and Alabang. But so we started that, it's a project, but basically it was not more of design anymore. It was in construction management. Then eventually I moved to a bigger projects, and then eventually got involved in construction management, and then got into property management when the Asia Pacific, when the Asia crisis hit the Philippines, and there was no construction going on. So I moved into property management. But during those times, I continue to get involved in accessibility because I felt that I had as an architect and a person with disability, maybe I can help there. So as I continue my career prosper, I was able to continue to fill up the building, and another building came up for me to manage. But I continue to work on accessibility. Then I started looking back. Remember, I told the Lord, make use of me. And that was when I felt that maybe He's making use of me. He's taking care of my career as I continue to work on accessibility for persons with disabilities. And that is now my goal, to make the environment, the built environment in the Philippines accessible to all persons with disabilities. So maybe there will be other NGOs that will be working to train persons with disabilities for employment, for education, to teach them values. But for me, I will now have to work on preparing the environment for them so that when they're ready, when they start getting jobs and when they start going to schools, the environment is ready for them to accept them so that they can move independently within the environment. And that has been my advocacy. It's not, when you're young, you always hope for a nice car, a big office, a fancy car. But those are the dreams that you start where you see that things changes, and it's basically more to be of service to others, not to get a pat on the shoulder, but to be able to return back the opportunity that you continue to have, to be able to work to earn a living and pass it on so that others can also have the same opportunity.
Wow,
Yes.
very deep, and hats off, my hats off. High respect for both of you. And maybe, just a thought, maybe each of us has probably a design company. We should hire one, start by hiring one and learn from there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, let me go. There's a few questions here, so I better start with a few question from our audience. This is from Friska Amalia. Hi, Ms. Annette. It's an inspiring research that you shared with us today. I would like to ask you about what design consideration should be taken into account when creating interior public facilities, such within a museum, to ensure a meaningful and accessible experience for visually impaired individuals. So let's repeat that. I would like to ask you what design consideration should be taken into account when creating interior public facilities within a museum to ensure a meaningful and accessible experience for visually impaired individuals.
The first thing is to talk to the museum curator. Ask what makes the museum they are. Meaning, what is the 10 top objects that they want the people to know that they have. Then you find this object, they usually give it to me, and then I would say, yes, this one can be made tactile. For all paintings, if it's a painting that they have, it's a 2-dimensional. If they have like something that's 3-dimensional, I would suggest also a 3-dimensional object, meaning you can do it in a 3D design, so that the sighted, the classmate or the pupils or the visitors sighted and the blind can actually see through their hands, through their fingers, while the sighted children can look at mainly the object. And then I would always encourage the curator or the tour guide to ask and talk to the blind children after the visit. What really touched them? What improvements that the museum can do? How about the tour guide? Did they explain it properly? And then when I teach the tour guide, I would say not just explain the painting, but give me some insights. Let's say, who's the artist? How did the artist choose this? Is the painting actually the picture of his mom or his child? Or did you see the mosquito or the fly on the fruit? Something like that, to make the painting interesting and to give a different insight on the painting so that it will become alive to them. So that's how we do it. After the visit, it's always a talk with the children and see how we can improve further, because there's always something we can learn.
What I found interesting when we did our rehearsal the other day was how the visually impaired watch a movie.
Yes.
So maybe start with Mr. Jaime first. And
Whenever my wife and I watches a movie, there will be portions in the movie where there's a suspense and it's quiet, and I always ask her, "What's going on? What's going on?" So every time there's a no, what's going on? What's going on? She'll get mad at me. Can you stop? I cannot even understand the movie anymore. So comes these digitized videos, these movies. I have a, it's been very helpful for me. I mean, I do my workouts. I listen to the videos. Whatever you see in Netflix, in all, we can also watch it. So that's one thing good. I mean, for others who are not aware of what is a digitized or a movie with a video, actually there's a narration. Like if the scene is in a suspense area and so quiet, and you see a burglar going near the window, he pulls out his screwdriver and jacks up the window. It's all quiet, yeah? But there's a narrator that explains to you what's happening.
Yeah.
So it becomes the way you will understand the movie is the way I will also understand the movie, unlike before. So you.
Interesting. Miss Annette.
Yeah, take me in from architect Silva. I remember a teacher Mila was telling me she went with some kids to watch Spider-Man. Okay, so there was this exciting scene that Spider-Man was looking down, and then the kids would say, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" She would explain, and sometimes it's a romantic scene, and they will say, "What's happening? Are they kissing? Are they kissing now?" Now, what is wonderful is Netflix have a lot of descriptive movies. What you can do is go to Netflix and then look for audio description in the choice, in the genre. Go to the last
I
line,
see.
and then you can click that one, and there's a lot of movies now that have descriptive, like architect Jaime is saying, that they will say that now the lion, like the Lion King, that the monkey would bring up the sun up in the sky with the sun rays towards him, well, it's that you can see it, but they describe it a lot
Yeah,
of movies, so you
it's
can
like
watch.
radio in a way, right? It's like
Yes.
radio.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the past when we listened to some storytelling on the radio.
Very
Yeah.
descriptive. Yeah.
Yeah, but with sound effects. Yeah, also with sound effects and background music and so forth. I think I've seen some in YouTube also. So okay, now let's go to let's see the next question. I think, okay, this is a good one. This is from Annie Agrawal. Said, "Hello, Miss Annette. It was really inspiring and insightful to listen to you. I would like to be in touch with you. So maybe later Payin can help with that."
Yes, Amy Agrawal, maybe you can email us to secretary@apsda.org, and we can connect you with Miss Annette from there.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and yeah. So probably a collaboration there. So and then this one from Ranjan Sainju. "Hello, sir. Greeting and namaste. Few questions regarding accessible toilet. Number one, what might be the solution for opening and closing door purpose for the person without hands?" That's the first question.
Okay.
The second one is, in case of any natural disaster like earthquake and you got stuck in the bathroom, how to ask for help who can't speak and even don't have hands?
Number one, to open the door, there can be a push button. So somehow, if you don't have hands but you have a stub on your arm, you can push that button. It will open up and close. When you're inside, this is the new thing that we're now putting into our amendment of the law, to have emergency buttons inside the toilets, because there will always be some accident that will happen. Maybe he falls, slips on the floor. So you cannot just have a alarm button which is in line with an outlet, or I'm sorry, with the switch, because that person is down on the floor. So right beside the hand grab, below that, that's when we assign a button to be located there. Easy for the person to press, to push. So these are the things that an alarm button. But what's important is that you look into how to evacuate them, how to bring them out. If in the event, because when there is an emergency, earthquakes like in the Philippines, maybe also in Indonesia, the management or the building should know where persons with disabilities are located. So they do a count of how many persons with disabilities are there. And when they get evacuated, they should have a list if there is somebody else left inside the room. So these are areas that they start looking into. So the practice of how to evacuate in the event of any emergency.
Right. Good one. Actually, I saw one of those buttons with a string, right, that you can pull down. So I was curious.
That's
I
another
pulled it
one.
down.
That's another one. Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
curious. I put it down,
But-
and I thought it's like the laundry string or something. And then the telephone call is, yeah, how can we help? Are you okay? And
At least
So-
you know it works.
yes. So we have a few questions. So
can I get back on that? Like in elevators, right now in elevators, the elevators get stuck between two floors.
yes.
Now, usually administration or security presses the button. Let's say there's no CCTV on the elevator car. Pushes the button. How many are you? Is there anybody there? Remember, a deaf person will not be able to hear you. So he will not be able to answer. Maybe he'll continue to press the emergency button. But the security or the administration will think that it's just malfunctioning. So what's important now in elevators is to have a button that will indicate deaf person. So when that person presses deaf on that particular elevator when it's stuck, security will be alerted that the person inside is a deaf person. So they rescue him immediately. Because if not, they might think it's just a malfunction and then maybe do it later.
They panic, yeah. Or maybe it's with some lights, yeah, in the case of the hearing impaired. So maybe we cannot answer all the questions here, but we do have another 8 at least. So let's try and keep our answer shorter, so we can answer all the questions here. This is for Architect Silva. The codes for toilet cubicles for the wheelchair and disabled are clearly defined. What about the codes for toilet cubicles for the wheelchair and disabled are clearly defined?
I can clearly defined, yes, okay.
Clearly defined, yes.
Okay.
What about the blind? How would you help them manipulate or read the space so they can move around? Are there raised points on the grab bars, or are the floor materials differentiated in texture? This is a question from Catherine Milagrosa Amanu.
Are we only referring to toilets for the disabled?
Correct.
Okay.
For the toilet, maybe do you put textures or on different floors material?
For low vision in any common toilet, because those who have low vision can access a common toilet. But if you are assigning that particular toilet for the blind or for the visually impaired, you can have a contrasting color. You can have the tiles in dark color and the fixtures in white. So it's easier for the low vision person to see where the fixtures are. Now, for the blind, of course, what's important is to come up with a standard type of a toilet for the disabled. So it's important that toilet, urinals, water closets, and cubicles and lavatories are really in one particular setting arrangement. But I've seen also some toilets that when you enter the toilet, there is a button. As you enter, there will be a button on a particular side and a particular height. You press that button, and it will explain to you what is in that, how the toilet is configured. So it will read to you On your right will be the series of lavatories, 4 lavatories. If you go straight, there are 4 toilet cubicles. If you turn left, there are 4 urinals. So it describes to you a blind person doesn't need anybody to bring him inside the toilet. He just press that button and a recorder will explain to him what is there inside the toilet. So this is one way for the blind to be able to move on the toilets.
Okay, similar questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's quite similar. This
Yes,
for Samantha Nicole
yes.
Pereira, for both speakers. What are the best wall materials and floor materials for a universal design and sustainable design?
Floor materials
and
Well,
walls.
Well, I don't think a blind person would really need a comparison of materials on the walls. But and also for persons with disabilities, what's important is you need to know where you are. Example is a blind person. You can have railings on the walls, and then at the end of that railing is a braille indicating what room that is already. So you have braille, it will read to you what's after the end of that particular handrail will be the room. It's also important that if there are signages on the room, or like what room it is, there should also be braille after the text, or the after the text right below. Like I said, it's basically for us. Well, I'd like to refer for the blind person. It's basically experiencing the environment ourselves to be able to make use and move independently in their own. Like if I get off an elevator and there is no voice on the elevator, well, I know what floor am I, even though I press number 5. How will I know? There should be braille on outside the jam telling you what floor it is. So
correct.
I don't want to talk too much.
No,
Yeah.
because we do have a few other questions.
Yes,
I think
correct.
what you said really meaningful. But this is actually now is 3:42. So maybe we try to answer a few more, but
Yes, okay.
shorter. Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
This question is from Saddam Hussein. Hi, Ms. Annette and Mr. Jaime Silva. How do we give understanding to society and the government to fulfill facilities in every building and building for disabilities? How do you convince them? I think this is what.
Yeah. Can I answer that? I'm sorry. Maybe Annette can start first.
Well,
Sorry.
for me, it's always we have to knock on their doors, because the law is already there, the policy is already there, beautiful laws and policies. However, it's not enacted. So it's really knocking on each door and making them understand what they can do. And actually, for our group, we give it actually for free. And even though you're going to give it for free, they sometimes won't even talk to you. So it's just non-stop knocking, it's non-stop putting our foot on before they close the door. That's how we do it here. I don't know with other countries if they're more open-minded about accepting these things, accepting changes, because change is difficult for people to understand. There is one time that we had already long talks with, I work with Architect Silva about the airport. We wanted to put tactile floor tiles and a tactile map and a voice map. And then we were going to sign our MOA that day. I bought the donors, the stakeholders, and then lo and behold, the lawyer came and said they won't want to have it. It happens. So it's just that non-stop knocking, non-stop letting them know, creating awareness is very important. Now I'm talking to 168 designers here. If you can just share this accessibility awareness to other people, that would do wonders.
And adding to that, I believe that you're doing everything with your own. You finance everything. The TAV project you finance.
I help people, donors. We have to present it to donors. Hopefully they understand the project and feel the need to help. And then we talk to the stakeholders and the facilities and the buildings where we feel that it is important for them to have accessibility. So it's like, yeah.
Mr. Jaime, you want
Yeah.
to?
You know, it's so hard to start asking government to comply because a lot of people has been doing this for many, many years. But what we did in our group is that we look into there are facilities that does not even follow. There are facilities that follows maybe half of what is required, and there are facilities that really do follow what is indicated in the law. So of course there will never be 100% perfect buildings, but you look into those buildings that have complied with, and you give them recognition. You make sure you recognize that the project that we have, the Apollonario Mabini Award, which started with only 11 nominated buildings. Then the next one was 20. Then it went up to 67. Then eventually, before the pandemic, it was already 182. Now, the last one, now that we're currently running, is 325 nominated buildings nationwide. So we can see the private sector moving about. They would want to really be recognized, of course, but we try to explain to them it's not the award that you should look into, but making your facility accessible for persons with disability. This is your corporate social responsibility, and you should do this. And we're happy to see more of the big developers and small developers participating in this project of ours.
Okay, so I think we have enough time just to answer another question. I have a lot of questions myself, but this I'll pick the very last one. Actually, the very last of the last. Sorry, everyone. Thank you for your questions, but we cannot answer. But if you find your questions or you want to make some statement, you can contact APSDA secretariat later. This will be the last question. I think it's interesting. The design of the museum, in addition to making it possible for the blind and low vision, has already experienced what is displayed in the museum. So what are the arrangements for the visually impaired to safely walk through the museum?
Okay. Now that there is no tactile actually on the floor, because that will be a totally different thing to discuss about changing the tiles or putting anything on the floors, because it's a moving museum or a changing museum. The museum guide is very important. We have to train them how to bring them around the museum, because some of the items, of course, are not in place just one line, right? You have different positions. So you don't want to fight with the curator. You want to work with the curator. So the sweet center there, the middle thing there is to train the tour guide, the museum tour guide, and then let them go through the objects, because the 10 objects are actually displayed in different rooms, not in only in one line. So they have to be trained to do that. So what we normally do trainings every now and then. And usually for the Philippines, we don't have guide dogs. We usually have people who bring them, the teachers, the mothers, the sisters, or the brothers, they bring them along. So that has never been the problem with us. So, but it adds up to that the museum guide have to know how to lead them. So they are taught how to guide the blind properly, not to pull them, but to guide them with the right way of holding them. Actually, the tour guides are all trained even to go outside the door of the museum and to cross the street. So the museum guide actually had that test, like they had to be blindfolded and they try to walk across the street with the cars. So it's one part of our training. So they will know how to empathize with the visually impaired. So the training is very important, that factor. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Fortunately, we are running out of time. Okay. Thank
Very
you
good
for
question.
your
Thank you.
thank you for both your presentations. But before we jump into conclusion, I would pass on the screen to Pin, APSDA Secretariat. Pin.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. So I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all our participants to join our APSDA Awards 2023. So later you will see a share screen for our APSDA Awards. So this will actually be a great opportunity for our entrants to showcase their work and be recognized by over 14 countries across the Asia Pacific. So for information, our entry will actually close at 10th July. So in this award, we have 3 main categories, mainly are the Project of the Year, Personality of the Year, and Student Project of the Year. So kindly note that both Personality of the Year and Student Project of the Year has no entry fee. So if you are interested, you can actually visit the APSDA website or scan the provided QR code here for more information. Additionally, for any further inquiries, you can also reach out to our email, secretariat@apsda.org. We have also shared the related info in the chat box, so feel free to refer to that for more information. So now maybe let us have a group photo before I pass it back to Mr. Francis for the closing remark. So maybe all the speakers and all our moderators and our presidents, you can open your cam so we can just have a quick photo. Okay. So, okay, everyone ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much for the group photo. So finally, we have also shared a link for you to access and download your certificate for the webinar in the chat box. Give me 1 second. Okay, so kindly take note that this certificate will only open for 1 week until 16 June 2023. So if you want to download your certificate, you need to go through a small feedback form. Then from there, you'll get your certificate. So after that, I'll pass it back to Mr. Francis.
Yeah, thank you, Pin. So here comes the conclusion from my side. Beforehand, we would like to obviously all of us thank both of you, Architect Jaime Silva and also Ms. Annette Lee, for sharing their empowerment-based project. That's how I would like to call it, which is so inspiring and it's touching. It's very touching. We are so touched. We have learned today that there are many ways to help others, especially with those others with special needs. Empathy is one of the ways. The real question will be, what is our contribution as designers, as architects, to make a positive social impact to society? To help them find ways to have privilege, same way like the rest of us. As a human being, for example, when you're not well, let's just say you bump your head on the wall or something sharp, then your whole body doesn't function. So the same way as a family, in a larger circle, as a family, when one of our brother or sister or child is sick, with, say, for example, flu, the whole family is affected. We all get worried for that one person, right? Then as on the larger circle, as a society, when a group is not well, then that society, also not doing well. It cannot be well, right? I mean, that's how we should see it that way, when we are sick, you're not functioning. So I think as a society, we should look into this because we are not well. Together, we are not well. So thus, we need to self-reflect, to empathize, to find ways to help and empower those in need in our own ways, in our small ways. For example, like we said earlier, maybe each one of us, if you have an office, we can hire one with someone with that impact, you know. So in a small ways, you can do your own thing. So for both speakers again, you know, Mr. Jaime and Miss Annette, you've been so inspiring, and you know, you are people with big hearts, and it really do touch me especially. So thank you again for your presentation, and we wish you the best of luck and health, and God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Back to you, Payne.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us. So we will end our webinar here. So see you guys next time. If you are keen to join our next webinar, feel free to check our social media. We will post them. Thank you. Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Joe.
Bye.
Thank you, Pak Francis. Thank you,
Thank you.
Miss Annette.
Thank you, Annette, and thank you, Architect Silva. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Yeah.
Ma'am Lee.
Mary, thank you, Mary.
Bye,
Thank you.
Peggy. Bye, Francis.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye, Annette.
Architect.